This is Dr. David Johnson at Quillen College of Medicine, East Tennessee State University, and this video is to explain how to use WarfarinDosing.org, which is a online algorithm that you can enter data into to calculate, you enter genetic data based on single nucleotide polymorphisms to calculate the initial dose of warfarin for your patient. And this was developed at Barnes Jewish Hospital at Washington University Medical Center in St. Louis, and it's supported by the NIH, and you can make donations to it. It's primarily based on the SNPs, or the cytochrome P450s, as we call them, CYP2C9, the vitamin K epoxide reductase, and some other genes. It was initially started with 1,000 patients, and it really improves the ability to do this. It was developed initially by Dr. Brian F. Gage at Washington University and supported by the NIH. So it's been used by almost 1 million people so far, and there's an ongoing clinical trial. And you can, if you have patient data, you can aid in that ongoing clinical trial. You can also look at outcomes. You can look at hemorrhage risk. Interestingly, hemorrhage risk, you can see how as the INR goes up, hemorrhage risk goes up. So one of the things you do with warfarin dosing, warfarin's an anticoagulant. You give it to patients to slow their clotting, but you don't want to slow it too much, or then they'll start bleeding. So hitting the right doses at the right place is very important. So here's a glossary telling you about the various drugs that it considers, about the cytochrome 2C9, about the cytochrome 4F2 genotype, the GGCX genotype, which is the gamma-glutamyl carboxylase, which is the enzyme that actually puts the extra carboxyl group onto prothrombin and other clotting factors. Talks about liver disease, talks about warfarin and coumadin is another term for that. Other factors can be considered, antibiotics, statins, etc. And also about the VKORC1 gene, which codes for the vitamin K epoxide reductase that takes oxidized vitamin K and converts it back to reduced vitamin K, so it can be utilized again. And we will, so SNPs are very important here, and I'm going to explain what a SNP is. And a SNP is a single nucleotide polymorphism. And here's SNPedia. And here it tells you about the SNPs, especially this CP2C9, which is involved in metabolizing warfarin and lots of other compounds, including aspirin, ibuprofen, and naproxen. And we can see the SNPs down here. The normal one, or the wild type, is star 1, and its designation, and so it has normal enzyme activity. Star 2 has a mutation at base number 430 from a C to a T, and this is the SNP number, RS1799853. That results in a single amino acid change from an arginine at 144 to a cysteine C at the same position, results in an inactive enzyme. We also consider the star 3, which is an inactive enzyme. The star 5 is a decreased activity, and the star 6 is an inactive enzyme. Now, this data for these SNPs is generated by companies such as 23andMe, Human Omni 1 Quad, Illumina, Human 1M, Ancestry.com, and Family Tree DNA, and FTDNA, DNA2. I think that's Family Tree DNA. So where a lot of people are getting their this information, it's cheap to get SNPs analyzed because it's all done on a chip. So think about this when you're treating your patients if you have this information. So let's now go back to the algorithm, and we'll go to the warfarin dosing. and we're going to go down here and select a patient that has currently no dosing, and we're going to go on to continue. We're going to give this guy an age of 60. We're going to give him sex. We're going to call him a male. We're going to, we don't know about his ethnicity. He says he's Caucasian. His weight, we'll say, is 190, and his height is 5 feet 10, for example. And then we see if he's a smoker. No, he's a non-smoker. Well, no known liver disease. Indication. Reason we're going to say we're doing this for knee replacement. We're going to have a starting dose. We'll estimate at 1.0. We might have a data. If we did that, we could add that. We're going to try to hit a 3 for anticoagulant. Other drugs, 0. So he's not taking any other drugs that may be metabolized by these same SNPs or the same cytochromes, so they don't interfere. And then we can go down to our various other. So this is the vitamin K reductase, and we'll say he's a GG, warfarin insensitive. And then we have a, for this other SNP, we pick the wild type. For this one, we'll take the wild type. For this one, we'll take a heterozygous. We'll do wild type for the others. And now we can, once we get all this selected, we can then go and accept. You have to accept the terms, or it'll give you a little error box. And now you can calculate it. So now we have a starting dose of 7.3. It's suggested that will end up with a therapeutic dose of 5.9. It was giving a little higher dose, probably starting out around 10 if you want to, and you can adjust this up or down, and it gives you a number in here. And so then you can give your patient a number. We'll call this patient number 3. And I've got my email address in there, and I've got my name and email down here. And it will send me this information, or send the doctor this information, and give you what you need to know about how you're going to treat this individual. So here's all the information about him, his height and everything, and you could have put his name in here, and you can actually export this to Word if you'd like, and it gives you actual dose, etc. information. So there you are, WarfarinDosing.org. Hopefully this helps you understand warfarin dosing and how to treat patients.